This is Kathy Chase. As I said, all people know how to do is to take things from my life with their little subtraction or their T minus for the moon man, which is really sick. I do know, it is a fact, that my life has generated more revenue than any other person in existence. I look around me and I know this is a fact. I see all these things that came from my life, and what's happened to me. And all these people know how to do is take. They did the same thing to my children, knowing that if I found out, I guess they did it because if I found out, I'd run around trying to protect and save my children, which is very sick. Because that's all I do. It's like another obstacle for me. And all these people know how to do is to take and take and take and take. Planting the pits thing. A pit is the middle part of a peach or any other certain types of fruit. Intelligence. And then I grew up on 5511. I had peach carpets and magic carpet rides. Tar pits, monsters, and different types of pits. And then tar pits, and then the correlation with Goodyear tire, my foot, the vulcanization of rubber, the whole concept coming from the Hindenburg, I guess, or something, with the Led Zeppelin thing, and then the tar pits and the pits. The old show, I don't know if people remember the A-Team, with A-Team and Mr. T minus, Mr. T. He wore tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of gold chains around his neck, and his phrase was, "I pity the fool. I pity the fool." And I'm sitting here telling my family that they're playing us for the village idiots, and dum-dum suckers at Village Inn and Lee's Chicken have always been there. And the phrase "dumber than doornails." As I said, it's fact that my life has generated so much wealth, and I have nothing. All these people have done is take and take from me and hurt me. That's all they've done. It's the only thing they've ever done. They've never lifted a finger to do anything nice. They've never given me any money. They've never done anything nice. All they've done is look for ways to hurt me and my life and my children. Why would you do that? How could you be so cold and so uncompassionate and so ungrateful and so disrespectful to do that? And as I said, the A-Team thing, I pity the fool, and that was his phrase, Mr. T, and the T minus thing, NASA moonwalk, and the fact that they drove a van, and then the Van Dorn battle flag, and I suppose Battlestar Galactica has something to do with this, maybe, I don't know, and other things. Family Feud, I think, came about because this was planned this way, because they knew about the money. I think that's why they planned it this way. There was no issue because they kept looking for issues, and they're trying to divert when everybody knows. My life has generated so much money that it's unfathomable. More than the national debt, for sure. And That's why they're so panicked, I guess, because they knew I'd reached the point where I figured this out. So they're using my own money to hurt me. How sick is that? Money made from my life to hurt me because they could never do anything good for me. What's sick is the fact that they made all this money, and then, they had me under hypnosis with doctors all these years, and then they woke me up and started abusing me really bad, and then it increased as I woke up. And the reason why it increased, I suppose, is because they knew what I was going to find out. And so that's why they wanted to escalate this whole scenario. And there's a lot of evidence to back that up, that they wanted to cause grief and problems, and wanted to cause family grief and problems because of the huge amount of monies and the number of value, the value of the monetary value that has come from my life is unknown. It's so extreme and so high, and as I said, the presidents have a lot of that money, have a lot of money from that, and all they've done is hurt me. And then, if it wasn't bad enough that they were sitting on all that, I don't know why they thought that they had to look for ways to hurt me. I suppose they knew what the family was going to find out. They've got, pretty much our family boxed in, and government just sits there. They got us boxed in to try to keep us from, getting any of the financial aspect of my life that's come from it. And they play this stupid little game, which has had no consistency whatsoever, and everybody knows it's a fraud. The game in itself is a fraud. It was planned. It started on the internet, which was a product of my life. It's one of the bigger products of my life that's come from my life. And then they play this game with me, using games that have came from my life. The game Pitfall and Frogger are very old games in relation to me and Autumn. Autumn is another name for fall. But as I said, all they know how to do is hurt people. That's all they know how to do. They've never lifted one finger to be considerate, to be respectful, to use manners, to do anything nice. They've done nothing. All they know how to do is hurt people. And they sit all this money. They're ungrateful for my life. They're ungrateful for the fact that I've lost 20 some years of my life. And then they as I said, when I woke up and started realizing all this, they started beating the crap out of me, both mentally, emotionally, and physically sense, and said it was political. Everybody knows that there's nothing political about abuse. And I don't know how they wean the public into thinking anything normal about what they've been doing to me in my life there's anything normal about it. There's nothing normal about human rights abuses and the fact that, they're just diverting away from money and things like that, which is incredibly sick. It's not that, if it wasn't enough that they took all that money and they wanted to be greedy, but why would they want to hurt me with that money? That's the sickest part. Why would they want to hurt me with that money? I was fine. I mean, even if they're that freaking greedy and they want to hold me down and my family down from trying to receive any of the freaking money because they want to play mafia, which is really sick. I think government would be sick. I think the public would be sickened at what they've done. They invented this little game trying to manipulate me exposing things about government, and the process of, trying to manipulate getting me killed, because they planned it that way because of the money. And I still make money. I've made more money for them probably with the exposure of the story of my life. And my life is my life in comparison to Hollywood is, in a financial aspect, is bigger. And some people don't comprehend that, I guess, but if you have the internet, you have gaming systems, you have television channels, MTV, all came from my life. And then entertainment industry and all this other stuff. But they planned to cause problems, as I was supposed to. When I woke up, they planned things that way. I don't know how they could be that greedy to only want to know how to hurt. I only know how to hurt people. I don't know how viciously sick you would have to be to only want to hurt other people. Me and my children. And they know they keep me occupied by running around trying to protect my children all the time. That's sick. That's serious sickness. They wanted to do the same thing with Autumn. And get rid of me and do the same thing with Autumn. They were hoping they would get rid of me before I found out everything. And then have Autumn take my place. And that's horribly, horribly sick. As I said, they started this argument on the internet, which was a product of my life. And that's very ungrateful, to provoke problems. It provoked problems and panic of the family finding out about, unmentionable amounts of wealth revolving around my life. And they wanted to play this game to make me work to try to survive, playing Survivor Island and all these different things. Segregation, intimidation, humiliation, and all kinds of stuff to try to, try to hurt me. And why? I don't know. They've gone enough steps where all they wanted to do was hurt me. All they wanted to do was hurt me. I don't want to be famous. Why would I want to be famous? I don't want to play your little Hollywood stars. The little Hollywood stars on sidewalks, Hollywood, and then my foot, and then the doors. Hollywood actors and actresses have stars on their doors and stuff like that. I don't want to be famous. I don't want to be famous. You made me famous. I don't want to be famous because all you've done is hurt me. That's all you've ever done is hurt me. Hurt me, hurt me, hurt me, hurt me, hurt me. That's all you know how to do is hurt people. It's not Coke harm money, it's harmony. There's two different things. And I'm not Coke. And a lot of people know that what I'm telling people is true. They know that. They know this is fact. And they think you're really sick. This has got to make people just people worldwide just horribly sick. Because the amount of greed that would go into using, making all that money and making all that profit and have all that ingenuity come from my life, and then to turn around and abuse me with the products, the gaming systems, PlayStation, different types of stations, or postal stations, TV, radio, and space stations. Those are the 4 stations I can think of: radio, TV, space, and postal stations. Those are the 4 I can think of right offhand. And they purposely made me famous using the moon man and stars and all this stupid stuff. And all they've done is hurt me with that fact. They think they can abuse me because they purposely made me famous. you know. And, you know, if it wasn't bad enough that they were sitting there pocketing all this money all these years, that they had to come along and start abusing me with it and hurting me and causing all this grief with all these people. My family, you know, didn't know. They didn't know about all the financial aspects that had come from my life. And they treat me no better than a slave. They treat me like a slave, like I'm a slave for money, for making other people money. And they abuse me with the products that came from my life, which is extremely sick. The money, you know, as I said, has been done, nothing's been done with it other than to try to hurt me. Playing this stupid little game, trying to expose government to try to blame me for something, which was planned. It was in the music 20 years ago. They say they're pioneering or frontiering. They got a new bank now. A whole nother bank just pops up. The frontier, you know, space, the new frontier, and Pioneer Street, and then pioneers of technology and ingenuity. Whole other bank right across from Highmark Estates, and there's just so much money they don't know where to put it all. Seriously, they don't know where to put it all. There's so much money, and all they've known how to do is that's all they've done is hurt me, subtract. They've stolen things from my life. They've taken things from my life. They've done things to my children, mafia style. They've done things to my kids. They've done things to me. They mock me with the CIA No Fear Act, when all they've done is fearmonger and warmonger my life. And they don't care. They don't care about any aspect of government exposed, which really wasn't really, it was all in the movies anyway. It was all, everything was always there. I didn't expose nothing. It's what they wanted to try to use to try to get me killed. How would I know anything other than what they've sent me? Obviously, information that they've sent me to try to divert. They keep trying to divert, causing problems with their little pits thing in the Family Feud. It's obvious that all that's why. It's the money, the money, the money, and the money. And I don't know why they find it so necessary to think that they can take everything from my life, including the past 27 years. 27 years of my life they've taken. Then they've profited so much money, and then they use the products of my life to abuse me, gaming systems, to operating systems, to all this stuff. You know, they've used all this stuff that's been products of my life, the internet gaming systems, to hurt me, to play games with my life. You got 32 bits of computers and 64-bit and gaming systems and computers, and then you got 3200 High Street and 5511-010101 binary code, and booting up my foot, and so you know they wanted to play this game. I was never interested in playing this game. I was never interested in being exposed or exploited and abused, and thinking that they could buy out my human rights and buy out my constitutional rights because they're so greedy. If it was, as I said, if it wasn't bad enough that they did all that profiting all those years, and now they're profiting more than ever, they abuse me with that money. That is the most sickest thing and the most greediest and the most evil thing people of the world have ever witnessed. To expose and exploit and abuse women and children over greed. And, people know this is true. You can find it in the movies. National Treasure is about protecting the Constitution, and that was, and then all the money sitting under the president's heads is true. Money made from my life that they've turned around and abused me with it. They think they can use the sole of my foot to solicit my life away from me, and they can't do that. I don't know why they haven't stopped their level of thinking and what they've been doing and changed their method of doing things. I don't know. They've used government, and government just sits there, and I think it's really sick. It's extremely sick for what they're doing. Extremely sick for this amount of greed.